Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 192 of CBQ Legacy. That's Comic Book Queers. I am queer number one, EvilJeff, and with me is queer number two, Brett.
What? I am not number two.
Honey, you smell like a number two. What? I don't know.
Oh, girl.
All right.
How would you know? You're all the way at Los Angeles. I'm all the way in New York. I feel like our new listeners should know that about us. That we're bi-coastal.
That's true. I do. They are saying that is the new technology as of late. They've invented a new technology that can actually recognize and replicate smells. That's like the new thing. Because if you didn't realize, other than a smell...
Using what?
I don't know. Nanotechnology? No, they're like this...
No, I don't want that. I don't want that up my nose.
Well, no, but it's more a thing like...
Who knows
you
I'm
could literally put it, like, you could do this thing and you could put it on food and it could tell you if the food has gone bad.
Oh, wow. Like... Literally like, hey, is this bad? Smell this.
But a robot.
I can do it from across the nation.
And did you see Tesla? Well, as you can see, we did not start with a reenactment this time because there is so much to talk about. We have so much news to talk about.
And yet here we are talking about Tesla, but please proceed.
Well, no, Tesla. Did you see the new news where he's making that like robot person?
New news? Oh, like a sex
Well,
bot.
I mean, he said it's not a sex bot, but the basic thing was like, it just says, it will be friendly. I'm like, that seems like the beginning of a horror movie. Of like...
and let's be honest, this is a sex bot. Nobody's going to use
this. It's a sex bot, but eventually I'm like, those are going to be our new overlords.
Absolutely. Can't wait to have to service a robot if I want to
But let's get into some hot topics. So, what are you going to pick? Hot topics.
We have a lot to talk about.
First of all, did you see a new trailer came out?
I did.
Popped, meant dropped. I don't know why. It just popped.
Popped. We can make that word up. A new trailer just popped. Pop it like it's hot.
It's the Eternals. It's called the final trailer. Before they finally release the
final
movie.
Trailer. It's called the final trailer, where we explain all the man babies questions about why didn't they help with Thanos.
Yeah,
shut up.
Literally,
now we have a trailer where they had to, instead of having cool stuff in a trailer, we had to have that.
Well, the trailer is literally just like, did you know Thanos was doing this thing? Why weren't you doing anything about it? Well, I was busy. And they told us, they said like we couldn't do it. Who said that? Well, it's the big guy over here, Celestial. Yeah.
Coming in December. Like, fuck you. What a waste.
It still looks cool. It looks cool.
Oh, it looks great. It looks great. And it's nice to get their backstory. I'm making fun of it, but it's nice to have their backstory. It's nice to understand a little bit more about them.
Is there anything else you have to say about that one?
Yeah, I like the powers.
What?
I like all their golden different powers. I like it.
What's the guy from Atlanta? From the show Atlanta, is he an Eternal?
Yes.
Or is he a human?
I've never seen Atlanta, but is it Brian Tyree Henry? Yeah, he's Phastos, the Eternal. He's the gay one. He's the gay one. He's going to be the one with a husband and kids. Yes.
Is he gay in real life? Because he was gay in that Melissa McCarthy Robot Takes Over the World movie too.
Oh my God, you watched that?
Yeah.
Super Intelligence? Girl, I had that on for 5 minutes and I was like, there's no
Well, if you
way.
kept on watching, you would realize it did not get better. But I wonder, is he I don't know. Well, I want to talk about that, but then I also want to talk about the other Marvel movie. There is a backlash going on, and I'm just going to bring it up. We really, as two white men, we don't really have, I don't even know if we should be talking, but there is a new boycott going on.
Listen, after White Lotus, I hate white people. I refuse.
Well,
to
no,
identify
this
as
is
white.
more a fight between the Asian American community and the Black community. There's a bunch of people in the Black community. They're trying to boycott Shang-Chi because Awkwafina started her career with a black son.
She used to. She sure did.
And but here's the thing, and I can't get is there's a fight where they're like, well, she grew up in Brooklyn and that's just the neighborhood, and other people are like, no, she didn't. She wasn't in the neighborhood she was in. It wasn't like that, and it's very. I don't know. It's a very tricky.
She was doing a character to ignite her career. Plain and simple. She was doing a character, and it was a character that was appropriated from Black culture, and she done did it. That's it. And you know what? Everyone loved her for her. Everyone loved her for it. Then.
Do you think that is a legitimate reason to then boycott the first Asian American led movie?
No, I think it's a reason for people who were turned off by that kind of thing to not watch the movie.
Yeah. Also, it's just like, I feel like that can be a separate issue from the movie. Like, can you just call her out and have her address that and then not ruin a wonderful thing happening to the Asian American community?
Exactly. Also, have you seen that official clip of the fight on the bus of that movie?
No.
It looks amazing. It looks so Jackie Chan, and Simu Liu looks so capable and good at doing it at the fight choreography. I'm very excited for it. And I did think Awkwafina, the way she launched her career, was tasteless. But hey, the machine let it through, so who am I?
Here's the thing, too, is Disney went and said that they felt that it was an experiment by letting this only be in the theaters. And Simu Liu just came out being like, how about you don't call the first Asian American-led action movie an experiment? Like, we're the underdogs. We're not an experiment. And it's just like, oh my God, these people are like fucking idiots. Like, what? And Disney. And then the whole thing going on with Black Widow right now.
What, with ScarJo's lawsuit?
Well, I mean, just right now, she literally just came out saying everything that they're saying was based in misogyny. Like, she just had a thing released basically being like, you said very misogynist things about me. Like, it's disgusting, which I kind of agree. Where they're like, how dare you? They were just like, oh my God, you should be grateful you had a movie. There's a pandemic. Don't you realize we're struggling? And it's like, no, Disney, you're not struggling. You're not. So shut up.
Disney needs
some PR.
Like sensitivity
they need some
training,
better PR.
Or like a PR coach. Like, you need younger PR professionals. People who get it.
Yeah, Disney, cut it out. And everyone at Marvel, like Kevin Feige and all them are like, Disney, shut up. Like, stop it. We all know that they're on Scarlett Johansson's side.
Absolutely.
Oh, Jesus.
Nothing can... Listen, everything we love, none of it can ever last forever. Ever. Like, at some point, Disney's mouths are going to ruin the MCU, and at some point, Jonathan Hickman is going to leave the X-Men.
That's our next thing we need to talk about. Jonathan Hickman is officially leaving the X-Men, and I am... we knew it was going to happen. We knew he was only going to stay for a couple of years. No one stayed. No one's going to Chris Claremont it and just stay for like 15 years. He's too big.
Years. He's big picture framework guy. He's going to move on to the next thing.
But the reason he gave is because they wouldn't let him do what he wanted fast enough.
Well, it was the other writers, though. It wasn't Marvel editorial, according to him. He said the other writers in the stable were like, "No, we want to keep this going. We don't want you to move on beyond the Krakoan era into whatever at your Act 2."
Yeah, and I do have a feeling that Inferno is going into Act 2, and he's just going to then leave. But apparently what he's saying is his ideas of where it's going to go for Act 3, the writers still want to go there, but he's just like, you're fucking taking too long. And I have to say this, I agree. Did we need 3 months of Ten of Swords that probably could have been told in 3 issues?
Right.
You know what I mean? And also, let's bring forth, and I've said this many a time, let's bring forth probably the most fascinating character, Moira McTaggart, who now is a mutant, and not show her for 2 years. What?
Right. But in the meantime, we have X-Corp.
And Children of the Atom and X-Force. Let's do a year worth of plant people stories.
It is like apartment 3G up in this bitch. I haven't read it in 20 years. Well, let me catch you up. It's later. That's
a Golden Girls joke. And I love it.
Literally, it's like we're just like the Hellfire Gala. I was like, oh my God, how long is this party?
Yeah, I mean, at least Hellfire Gala was good and was interesting. But a lot of this shit, it's just like, I agree, like, move on.
But it's like move on. Do we need Jumbo Carnation on like an active Marauders team? No.
Oh shit. Like, are we gonna? I think maybe that's our segue to start talking about the X books.
Hit it.
I want your X.
Okay, are we gonna bring that? Should we go right into that, or should we go in an order of like?
Let's go right into Marauders. We have 2 weeks of X books, so we have to include X-Force 22. EvilJeff, I said X-Force 22.
Yeah, I'm ignoring it.
Hit the button. There it is. Yay, new toy. And Children of the Atom 6. But okay, let's talk about Marauders. Let's talk about Marauders number 23, which surprisingly was by Jerry Duggan. I didn't feel like
it was weird. It was very weird. It was kind of like, it was like a reset of like, here's the new team. And honestly, I wouldn't have minded. I might have minded it of like, oh, here's Tempo and here's Banshee. Great. Here's Jumbo Carnation. Why? Also, his other power is he's inflammable.
Teflon skin. Sure. Did we know that already? I thought his powers were 4 arms and an impeccable sense of taste.
Yeah, and now he's just like this big, strong gay, like, well, no, your gay person is Christian and I don't know. I was just like...
We don't need a big, strong
but
gay.
Yeah, I was like, this is the character development that I just don't want.
Did not need this.
No.
Nope. If it's like, we're the Marauders. We're a superhero team. I'm Emma Frost, team leader. I'm Kate Pride, her second in command. I'm Tempo. I'm new. I'm Jumbo. I'm gay. Like, what is happening?
And where is Iceman?
And where's... Oh, they did say Iceman and Bishop.
Yeah, well, where? I wanted that's... let's see what's going on with that shit. And then I was like, am I being homophobic, like internalized homophobia, where I'm like, I want the more straight acting hot gay superhero. I don't want the fat queenie superhero. Is that bad? Am I?
Yes, it's extremely homophobic.
But it's still bad though. Are we the problem?
No, it's not homophobic because Jumbo Carnation is not an action character. He's one of the characters that grounded this book in something other than action.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was just like, what is happening here? And I wasn't crazy about Emma's new outfit.
No, what is this pillowy blouse you have on? And
with your
shorts? Tiny whities.
Like, what is going on?
No, I don't know. And like, what is the tone of this book? Like, hey, Emma, it's me, your old friend Banshee. I'm in trouble. I stepped in it again. Like, what is... And
then it's all just like, oh, we're going to take down Verendi because the one girl was raped by her dad. I'm like, I don't need this.
God. I don't know.
What is happening?
What is happening?
We're the teenage girl from Poltergeist. What's happening?
What?
Dad killed by her boyfriend.
Dad, drive away. Dad,
Did you
drive
know she was
away.
Killed by her boyfriend?
Remember that?
Yeah.
The brother's like, just fucking leave her.
She was killed by her boyfriend in real life.
I know.
Somebody died in every.
A
main character died in every Poltergeist movie.
Yeah, Carol Ann.
Yeah, she died in the third one, and then the old man who was the bad guy in the second one died. They all died before like the movie was released.
He was 90.
But hey, it fits my narrative, so just go with it.
How about the end of Poltergeist 3 where they have to film that final scene after Heather O'Rourke, yes, that's her name, died. And they're clearly carrying a mannequin instead of another girl with blonde hair. It is a fucking doll with a loose leg that is like swinging because it's loose. Oh my God. What is happening?
Poltergeist 3. Hey, you know what? What if we redo Poltergeist, but in a high-rise building? Who greenlit that shit?
What the fuck?
Anyway, we're off topic.
Meanwhile, you have Nancy Allen climbing the outside of the building.
We are off topic. Let's move on. Marauders, you're on notice.
You're on notice. He's like, I'm writing X-Men now. I don't fucking care about Marauders.
Well, I think we're going to talk about a lot of... let's mix it up with good and bad. I think we're going to talk about a lot of bad stuff. Let's talk about something I did kind of like. Although I still was like, what? But Way of X. What did you think of Way of X?
Yeah. Oh, I really enjoyed it. If nothing else, to tell me a good Nightcrawler story. I mean, this book ends with Nightcrawler bamfing a fucking moon.
I just...
yes,
please. But also... are you now going to say he's Omega level? That he can...
No, because he was amped by Fabian. But
still amped to a moon. A moon? That was a little...
Are you going to say Fabian is
or something? That just felt, and this is just, and I get it.
Oh, it's just
it's just a moon. I get it, and I understand but for me, I know it's the X-Men world, but when I am kind of like, I don't believe that. I know they just terraformed Mars, but I was like, I get it, and I believe it. But when Nightcrawler bamfed the moon, I was like, you just went too far. This, I don't.
Did you feel that way when Kitty phased the bullet?
No.
Oh, okay, well, same thing.
I guess. Yeah, I guess you're right. But then for some reason, I'm like, Kitty can do that. But Nightcrawler, bamfing. Because Nightcrawler was so tired.
Give Kurt
but he's
credit.
always... I just remember the Excalibur after his powers were fucked up, and he'd just be tired bamfing one person. And now he's bamfing a goddamn moon. I don't know. All right, explore it. Explore that part. Well, I guess he's dead, and he doesn't remember anything.
Yeah.
It was all this thing where it was like, all of this shit's happening. Fabian, you have to remember this because I have to sacrifice myself. Oh, Fabian's in a coma and I don't remember because I was resurrected. Fuck.
Yeah, I do like that.
Oh, I know. It's just frustrating because you're like...
Yeah, it's good writing. I do like the whole Legion is trying to do something about Onslaught while Xavier is like, me in his ear, and he's like totally tuning Xavier out.
Xavier just being a total shit.
The weird thing for me was, and I didn't hate it, but this was what I didn't buy, and I was like, okay, it's poetic, is, don't you see, Onslaught's been feeding on the pieces of us that we miss when we get resurrected. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. It just seems like he's able... When people are reimplanted with their memories or whatever, he's able to somehow get in on that. It seems like. And because Xavier was the one doing it, I mean, I guess all that kind of makes sense to me.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess for me, the thing that I found really interesting about Way of X is that Kurt, I think the main thing is he's analyzing each of the three laws. And here's the thing is he actually discovered, because it was kind of like you can kill a mutant. You just can't kill a human. But you have to respect the Krakoan land. And his new interpretation is, no, the mutants are part of the Krakoan land. We are the land. So you cannot fucking kill a mutant either. And I think that's a very different interpretation. And I also love the fact that he's like, and guess what? I'm going to let both of you fucking die, but I'm on the council and I'll make sure you're in the back of the queue and it'll be years and years and years before you're resurrected. I like that kind of threat. That was like Nightcrawler being like, don't fuck with me, fuckers.
Listen, I've got diplomatic immunity or whatever the hell. I'll use it.
Was the whole thing where Fabian and that Gravity, what's the person's name? Lost. Was she in an old issue, or is she a completely new character? Because they seem to have this.
I feel she's new, because her and, but she comes with this
story where Fabian, as an alkalite, killed her family, and that's what I was just curious of. Like, was that ever in the past X-Men issue?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe our listeners out there know more than we do. You, and you. 4 listeners. What do you know?
Yeah. I don't know. But it's interesting. I mean, the new Onslaught thing, it'll be interesting. I will say Onslaught, I'm not very interested in Onslaught as a villain, but I am interested in Legion and Nightcrawler fighting it and Xavier being an idiot.
Yes. I am interested also in maybe we're finally doing away with Onslaught once and for all when this next book happens, the Onslaught Revelation. Yes. Like, the Onslaught revelation is you shouldn't be using Onslaught anymore. Yeah,
that's the revelation I had is this character was stupid.
Yeah.
Let's talk about 2 stupid books from last week. Let's see if we can just...
Children of the Atom.
Children of the Atom has come to an end. I sent you an article written by some person where I was like, want to get angry? Read this. And literally this person was just trashing all the X-Men comics, but then was just like, the only things that were good were X-Force and Children of the Atom. And I'm like, and then he's like, I can't even read Marauders because it's all about Emma. And I was like, oh my God, is this person our nemesis?
Like, have you ever, it's like, right. Like, have you ever been less able to connect with I don't even see this person.
I know. He's apparently in charge of all of the X-Men stuff for Bleeding Cool Comics. I don't know what your name is. But what? Oh, Emma Frost is bad.
Yeah, Bleeding Cool. I'm like, if I read an article, I'm like, oh, this is on Bleeding Cool.
Yeah,
delete.
Exactly. But Children of the Atom. Okay, here's the thing: 6 issues to introduce 1 new mutant. Do you know what her powers are?
Shape-shifting.
But what can she just shape-shift like Mystique? They don't really say, and I'm like,
no one knows because
they don't really go into it. So I'm just like, and then her friends.
Never once does she shapeshift into a thing.
And then the whole thing is the one friend was into the guy, and then in the end it's like, no, I actually like you, and then we're mad at you because you're mutant. You didn't tell us, and I was like, I hate all of this. I hate it.
It literally could have been a one shot. It could have been a one shot.
Also, this girl, like, I don't think she's an interesting character. There's so many other interesting characters of color
she's a lesbian.
Who cares? There's so many other interesting characters of color that have already been established. Like, why do we have to add some, like, new one that's just not giving us anything interesting? I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people are relating to it and think it's amazing because she's the Gen Z younger, but...
I mean, it wasn't... Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't poorly written. Like, it just didn't tap into the vein of, like, what we like about the X books now. I mean, it kind of did, and, like, they're so popular now, and we want to be part of that community. We want to be part of that community instead of the community we
But then it needed some sort of stakes. There were no stakes.
Yeah, I mean, it was either you were invested in these kids' friendships or you weren't. And if you weren't, then you just weren't invested in the story. The story's about these kids.
Anyway.
To the point where she even chooses that family over her.
Good. I don't want her on Krakoa.
She goes back
and end the comic, and then we can just pretend it didn't happen.
And also, if you're going to have this character finally go to Krakoa, and she has modeled herself after Gambit. No scene with Gambit?
Because that was just like pointless. And also, how can she make teleportation? Like, how is she making all this stuff and that's not connected to her power at all?
Right. And she's making the clothing. Is because she's a cosplayer?
I don't know.
What is happening?
But I love how it's just like, oh, I just made a teleportation suit, but I have shape-shifting powers.
Sure. But I'm a shapeshifter. What? What?
Make it make sense.
What is it?
Oh, God. Anyway, whatever. The other one that was garbage, of course, is X-Force.
Oh, my God. Listen.
If I see one more plant person,
to the point.
I'm about to throw all of my plants out.
To the point where we're even bringing Man-Thing into this. Why? Because that's another plant person. I don't know.
It's so bad.
But it's not Man-Thing. Man-Thing's cool because Man-Thing is mysterious and lives in the bog. And, like, if you're afraid, he'll burn you. And he's scary and it's horror. And we love Man-Thing. Manslaughter, who is like, I'm like the offshoot of Man-Thing, but I'm a soldier. So I'm all about, like, war and shit. Stop it.
Yeah. And I love how it's like, instead of Man-Thing, what if it's like Manslaughter? Because, like, manslaughter? Shut up.
Shut up. You know who came up with manslaughter in a different book? Benjamin Percy, writer of X-Force. It's one of his characters.
And that's the thing, is I think it's like the incel crowd that reads X-Men. They eat this shit up. They think it's good. Why?
I don't know.
Why? Why aren't they at least just talk about Russia and the Cerebro Sword and Colossus's brother.
Whatever happened with the Cerebro Sword?
Why can't it be about that? Like, I don't get it. Didn't they bring up the Cerebro Sword recently in one of these books?
Yeah, yeah.
In one of them.
I don't know.
But just, ugh. Oh my God.
I'm just annoyed because I'm like, I feel like Hickman was like, no, don't you see, like, this shit is it's being spread too thin. We're drawing it out too much. It's losing its soul. Like, we need to move on. And the rest of them are like, but we like doing it. And he's like, okay, then fuck off.
But that's the thing is why, but he should be in charge and being like, no, shut up. Why did they have control? He should have been the boss and been like, you all just shut the fuck up. We're going to go to part 2.
But it's also spin. Like, who knows what the real story is here? Yeah. I'll tell you what. I don't know if I trust this editor-in-chief of the X books. I really don't. I don't know. I think we need a new... I'm not going to go off.
This is the thing. You have to understand. You have to understand that me and Brett, House of X and Powers of 10 changed us. Like, it was like, oh my God, this is the X-Men we've always wanted. So when things start to go wrong, we are going to take it very personally. So you're just going to have to deal with that.
You're damn
Now,
straight.
X-Corp.
Like, X-Corp, which I'm taking very personally.
This is so bad.
It's so boring.
Bad.
I can't get through it.
It's literally like...
It's so bad.
Why don't they just literally just do spreadsheets of, like, financials and that be the comic? I don't care.
What is this book?
It's so awful. And then it's just like me and then Angel and Monet were like, and now we're going to fight. I'm like, why?
What?
Why? And then Celine's on the board.
And they're like, Trinary, you're off the board.
After nothing.
And we're going to put... And then they have a data page.
Mass, like, genocide serial killer Celine on the board. What?
And they kick off Trinary, and then they do this data page where, like, the board, now that Trinary is not on, sign off on this thing. What about Wind Dancer? You didn't address her. She's supposed to be on the board. She isn't on the data page. Like, maybe I'm wrong about that. The point is, this book sucks.
It's so bad. It's literally so bad. What is the point of it? Oh, it's the X-Men, but like
I'm like, I don't even know what
it's the X-Men, but like they're like gonna make like cell phone servers.
They're gonna
literally they're gonna do
now.
cell phone servers. That's the plot. And then there's another girl and she doesn't like it, but guess what? We bought out the company. But he's so mad about it, he's gonna come in and start shooting people. What? I am literally like, set this book on fire. I'm done.
When I flipped the page praying that the next page is the last page, and it's not. It's just more speech balloons with so many words in them.
Talking about financials and stuff. I'm like, do you think anyone gives a fuck? What? I think someone saw Succession and they were like, oh, this would be a good expert.
Yes, I can do this.
But then it's like, no, actually, you can't.
You can't do it. No, it's so horrible. I honestly, if this was just their fucking balance sheet, I would be more interested.
Yeah. But let's end this with one that I thought I liked. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I like where this is going. Is the trial of Magneto.
Yeah, it's great.
Clearly, we see X Factor. I'm glad X Factor is like back in the forefront. And they're trying...
Oh, but can we talk about that? I'm sorry. Can we talk about X Factor for a second? There's a Leia Williams interview where she reveals the whole story that the trial of Magneto was supposed to be a story arc in X Factor, and that the X-editors liked it so much that they decided to cancel X Factor and make it its own book. And when they canceled X Factor, they, not she... filled in a bunch of last-minute story, including that really weird tone-deaf prodigy thing, which she found out about after the fact.
Oh, she didn't do that?
No. This is why I'm like, what is happening in this office?
And also, why is there all this rape? What is up with all these rape stories? For what? Is this the new refrigerating?
Fuck?
Oh, we don't want to kill off characters for motivation, so let's just have them be raped. What? Why?
Can I have less rape?
Yeah. Also,
books,
I'm not against that in general. As like you can't ever talk about that, but when it's happening, just more like in every issue, like okay, enough. Oh my god,
Oh my god! All right. Anyway, Trial of Magneto, which is bittersweet. It's got a bitter aftertaste because of this whole X Factor.
But it does look like someone used metal, and basically choked, like put her hands, like cuffed her hands with metal and choked a bitch out, strangled.
Yeah. Oof, ugly. We think because then what's happening at the end of this book, where we kind of see the murder.
And here's the other... Well, yes, but before we get into that, the Quiet Council is now fighting because Magneto is like, you can bring her back. And basically Xavier's like, well, she tricked us. So we actually have the backups until we found out she wasn't a mutant. I was like, what?
Which I'm like, how?
But that's the thing is like, but are you... I thought Cerebro decides if someone's a mutant. So that's the thing is like, I think they've realized they were in a... They didn't really have an answer for that. It's like if Cerebro decided, Cerebro would have known all along that she wasn't a mutant. And part of me thinks like, I think she is a mutant and you just decided she wasn't and then decided to turn off the updates for her.
To just turn off.
So that's the thing is our original thing of like, oh, maybe she really is a mutant. She'll get resurrected. That doesn't look like that's what's happening. But I will say that doesn't make much sense. Their explanation didn't make much sense.
No, it was like the Onslaught eats the pieces of us that we live.
What?
I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But it turns out it doesn't look like she's really dead. She's like in the white hot room or something. Where is she? Oh my god.
Jean's going to be like, bitch.
Because she's like, I guess I died, but I'm not really dead. Like she's now narrating the shit. And you're like, where the fuck is she?
So the Quiet Council is like, do we back her up or do we let her die? And Emma, if I just go back to House of M, where Emma's like, kill the bitch.
Yeah.
Again, she's
I
like,
love how she gets mad at Kitty because Kitty's like, oh,
she's like, oh.
Who are the people? It was Magneto, Nightcrawler, and Kitty.
Yeah, we're like, let's resurrect her.
And everyone else is like, nope. I do kind of love that Storm was like, no, fuck her.
No.
And it's weird because Magneto is basically like, I still loved her. I treat her like a daughter. But everything is coming around that it looks like that she did it. And so basically they're like, you did it. And I do think it's kind of like, you do have to realize this is the X-Men world. If Magneto was going to kill her, he would know that they can figure it all out. So, like, I hate the fact that they can't even think for a second that maybe he's being framed, which so clearly he obviously is, I think.
Well, he's not helping his case.
Not.
Like, he's just throwing metal at everybody.
Yes. And then comes bad parenting of his one child that is actually still his. Polaris.
Oh my God. He's so mean to her.
He fucking reads her for filth. He's like, you're a fucking joke. He's like, you fucking green-haired cunt. You are a fucking piece of shit, and you were never nothing. Even at your best, you're fucking garbage. Like, basically, he's like, you're incompetent, and you're just always middle of the road, and I hate you. And I wish Scarlet Witch was my daughter. And then he's about to go off on everyone. And guess who shows up? You knew he's going to show up. Fucking Quicksilver.
This was my favorite.
But also,
this book.
who's the only person fast enough to stop Quicksilver?
Yes, this
fucking
is why
North Star.
The only one who can stop him is North Star, and he does, and he consoles,
and he hugs him. And I was just like, the fact that also I want to see Speed, Quicksilver. We all know. Y'all think Wiccan is gonna fucking show up at some point. When they all fucking show up,
they even telegraph it. Tommy's like, he doesn't know.
Yeah, they're when they all fucking show up and they're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then, and in the end, are they bringing the body to the Avengers?
I think so.
So they're basically like, "Hey, Avengers, how's it going? Here's the dead body of Wanda,"
and they throw Wanda's body
through the gate,
right at the Wasp's feet. Here. Get her out of here. Two things I love. One is when Magneto is in a coma, Scott's like, Jean, can you read his mind? And she's like, no, he's so out of control in there. I can't. I would need Emma's help. I'm like, yes, telepathy sisters. I just love that. She's like, no, I need my girl. I need my bestie. Then Leah, this is like, just, it's so Leia Williams, and it's so why I love her as a writer. The Brotherhood scene at the bar, the scene of the former Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, the team, the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver made their debut on, having a shot together.
Yeah, that was fun. It's one of those things where I didn't realize it for a hot second. And then I was like, oh, Toad and him were on. Oh, wait, no, Weingart is there. Oh, wait a minute, Blob is there. Oh.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, so great.
I love that.
Yeah, so then we cut to the Scarlet Witch, and, let's just call it the White Hot Room. She's stabbed. It's like you see a...
But they said she was strangled. But also she's in white, but she's in a white outfit. When she was stabbed.
Yeah, but she already has blood on her chest.
So I'm like, what is this?
What is this?
Who do you think really killed Wanda?
Oh, I'll tell you. I said this months ago.
You think it's Mystique? Announced.
Exodus.
Why? Oh, because he hates her. He's the one spreading all this stuff like she's the great pretender. She's the enemy.
Yeah, think about how many times have we seen him around a campfire with kids, like the Pretender, Lucifer. She's Satan.
Yeah. Oh.
You need to keep the narrative alive. You have to keep the myth alive to keep the culture alive. You can't have Wanda being a sympathetic character.
Shit.
You can't have her make amends with everybody.
Yeah.
What then?
But that's the X books. And I just want to say one more thing about X Corp. And I think it's time to move on. Let's talk about some other comics.
Let's
hit
move
it.
on.
You gotta get a comic if you wanna get ahead.
Okay. Brett, did you read anything else?
I did. I read 2 other books, my friend.
I did not.
Did you? Okay. Well, I will tell you. I will tell you about these 2 comic books I read. One is a book from Marvel Comics. Ooh. It's called Kang the Conqueror, #1, written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, art by Carlos Magno. I've heard of none of these people, but I enjoyed this book.
What's the premise?
The premise is it focuses on a young Nathaniel Richards. Kang,
Is he white in this?
Okay. Yes. Who is, still an ancestor of Reed. Descendant of Reed, I believe. So still the 31st century, much like what we saw in Loki in the MCU. So this is young Nathaniel Richards discovering time travel, other dimensions, being bored with his world in the 31st century, and so going back in time to explore the past. And when he does, he bumps into traditional adult Kang the Conqueror. Traditional adult Kang the Conqueror takes Nathan Richards, the future Kang the Conqueror, back to prehistoric times on Earth and raises him as his own, grooms him to become him later. Confusing.
Now, I have a question. Does that Kang the Conqueror remember the older version of him doing that when he was young?
I think so, yes. It's like suggested.
But is one of these, is this guy going to be Iron Lad still from the Young Avengers?
Yeah, I think so, because he rebels against adult Kang because he's so evil and gross. Adult Kang kills a woman that young Nathaniel loves. Why else would a comic book character do anything? And so he rebels against Kang and then escapes away from Kang, but then winds up in the end of issue 1, winds up at Rama Tut's empire in ancient Egypt, Rama Tut being another iteration of Kang, of Nathaniel Richards. So this book is about basically Iron Lad visiting and interacting with and encountering all the other iterations of Kang the Conqueror, of himself. So I think this book is just really going to flesh out the story of Kang before he becomes the next big thing on our movie screens.
All right.
Yeah. But there's a book I'm really excited to tell you about, EvilJeff. There is a book by Dark Horse Comics. Haven't read something by them in a while. It is written by David Booher, art by Claudia Balboni, color by Harry Saxon. And I'm giving all these credits because I'm a big fan of this book and I want them to get their credit. It is a book called Killer Queens. This is issue #1. It is about, wait for it, a gay man and a lesbian who were intergalactic assassins quitting assassination and going into work for themselves outside of killing people. So they're going straight,
To do what?
Legit. They're trying not to kill people anymore. Well, they're hired to help with this diplomatic situation on another planet. They are rescuing. So instead of murdering, they're looking to rescue. They're looking to do good. So the first thing they have to do is rescue this diplomat who is basically being overrun by fascist rhino creatures, but they very much identify as fascists. And this diplomat is from a democratic world being overtaken by fascists. So our main characters, Max the gay assassin and Alex the lesbian assassin, have to go rescue this diplomat.
Does this take place in the future?
Yeah, in the future, space, takes place in space. They are on the run from a monkey named Beatty. Beatty used to run, or Beatty runs the assassination ring.
Or he wants them dead. Okay.
He wants them back. But he wants their ship back, because when they quit, they stole his ship.
Is there...
So he's got a crew of space otters. So there's a lot of otter jokes.
Is there any gay lesbian nookie happening?
Oh, it opens with it. Yeah, Max and Alex are in a space diner. Alex is on a date with a woman. Max is on a date with a man. Max and his date, this purple spaceman, are fucking in a bathroom stall, while Alex is having a difficult time through very stilted conversation with a very unimpressed lesbian on her date.
Who's at the top? Who's the
monkey? Actually, they just get to making out. They don't get to pure fucking just yet.
Unless he's the top. I'm not reading it. No, okay.
He very much reads like a top, I will say.
It's up top energy.
The tagline is Killer Queens, putting the sass in assassin.
Oh my God.
So, come on. They had me at the tagline.
Oh my God.
It's a fantastic book. I urge you to read it. I urge us to follow it.
All right, I'll read it.
Because I really think that we're going to fall in love with Max and Alex.
I'll read it.
So it ends with, the whole thing about saving the diplomat is if the fascist rhinos ever catch wind that we are interfering, that you are interfering, an all-out intergalactic war will break loose. So whatever you do, be stealthy. Do not let the fascist rhinos know that you're involved. So what happens? They crash right into the middle of a fascist rhino rally.
Of course.
By accident. Yeah, it's good. It's stakes, it's humor, it's fabulosity, Killer Queens, Dark Horse Comics.
There's one other comic that we need to bring up that I didn't fully read. It came out maybe 2 weeks ago, and it is a DC book called Urban Legends. What is it? Is it Batman Urban Legends? I think is the name of the comic.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway,
no, I'm
Batman? Not. It's just it features one Tim Drake, who then
oh my God, we didn't talk about this.
Out a boy who decides that he's bisexual and asks a guy out. So Tim Drake is ready to bounce on the dick.
So ready. Tim Drake reads like a bottom.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a Robin. There's no such thing as a top.
Yeah, we all
Robin.
know Batman was fucking all of them.
Right. Which is what got the Comics Code Authority started in the first place.
So at least now we're honoring it. The real question is when are all the other Robins coming out?
Finally, Jesus.
And but I'm just happy there's another queer character in
very happy, and a prominent one.
And I also think that's a great segue for us to talk about Robins fighting each other. I think it's time to go into some Titans, don't you think?
I do. Hit it.
Someone who'll watch superhero sci-fi stuff with me.
Titans, episode 4.
We have another bisexual Robin in Brendan Thwaites, who is bisexual in real life and plays Nightwing on the hit show Titans.
Also, I didn't realize that the Scarecrow is what's his nuts. I did not recognize him with the beard until he started really talking when he kidnaps him. He starts talking. I'm like, that's fucking Angel's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
And also, Scarecrow more behind Jason Todd's resurrection than we thought he was. But we should have seen it.
Well, that's the thing is Scarecrow is known for using drugs and stuff to influence and hypnotize people, right? So is this still a thing where is Jason Todd under some sort of control?
Absolutely.
Okay. Brainwashed by
for lack of a better word.
Of course, but and basically, it's that's kind of, there's two things going on. We have one side, we have Starfire and Beast Boy looking for, which eventually becomes her sister, and then we have Nightwing looking to basically use the Scarecrow to lure Jason Todd and capture him. But of course, that fucking bitch Oracle fucks the whole entire thing up.
Did she fuck it up, or did she save Dick's life?
No, she shot him.
Yeah, but I feel like Jason Todd was like about to kill him.
They looked like they were kind of evenly matched. It didn't look like he had I just looked like they were just fighting. I don't know if he was about to pull a...
My take was that Jason Todd was about to get the drop on him, and Barbara sloppily intervened
and shoots him, and both of them escape. So it's just like, oh, Nightwing. Oh, you just made everything so much worse.
Yeah. It was a great fight between the two Robins in the woods. Really, really something. More quality.
But
TV
I do think it's this thing where Nightwing just doesn't... I do like the idea that the Scarecrow basically called out, like, you know, like, Batman fucked all of you up. You think you weren't horrible to Jason Todd. You were. You left Raven. Like, anytime someone needed someone, you fucking bounce. And it's the same thing with this, where he's like, I'm going to do this all myself. I don't need anybody. I'm going to do it all myself. And of course, it's the main thing with the Titans is like, you guys don't work unless you are fucking working together.
Yeah, and Dick always pulls this shit. He has season after season, I'm going to do it myself.
And
I'm going to do it myself. And then he'll go off on Bruce Wayne. Like, you always run off and do it by yourself. Like, you're just...
I learned it by watching you. You know what I mean?
I learned it by watching you, all right?
It's like, grow the fuck up. It looks like What's-Her-Nuts is... Dove is basically like, I'm out. I'm
done.
Emotionally traumatized forever. I just killed my love of my life by accident. I'm done. And Superboy is all like, I was like, that's leading to something fucked up, because he's all like,
you all think I'm Lex Luthor.
And then Beast Boy's just like, no, we love you. And he's like, you're just super fucking Green Tiger. And he's like, all right, you know what? Fuck off. And then Starfire's like, I'm gonna murder you. And he's like, what the fuck? Can everyone just leave me the fuck alone?
I know. So, like, the thing, first of all, what I love about Gar and Beast Boy is, first of all, he's so fucking hot. Second, he's actually becoming the comic relief as Beast Boy has always been. Like, finally, Gar is a little bit funny.
He's the only levity in the show.
The only levity. But it's so odd that Superboy throws him like a mild insult, and Gar's like, well, whatever, fuck you. But Starfire has repeatedly tried to kill him. She kidnapped him. She locked him in a trunk, and he's like, I'm with you to the end, bestie. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he wants to fuck her. Anyway. I mean, who wouldn't?
Yes.
She's gorgeous.
She is gorgeous.
And basically, it turns out all of these weird hypnotic things she's happening. And then she calls this dude like, I'm hearing things. I'm like, who is this guy that she keeps calling?
Oh, her psychiatrist.
Why?
Her psychiatrist is like, hey, do you finally want to fuck? She's like, no. I'm having problems. He's like, oh.
But then it's always on the phone. It's never in person. I just find the whole thing very weird. I'm like, I'm waiting for some.
He's gonna be
it's like I'm waiting for some sort of double cross. They're trying to establish trust, and I'm like, why? The only reason you're establishing trust is he's clearly going to betray you. I think he needs something from the sister. I think she basically brings the sister back, and I think he's trying to get to the sister, and they're both going to maybe like double cross her. I don't know, but for me, I think if your sister kills your parents and then tries to kill you, I don't know, fuck your sister. I'm like, leave her in the box. That was a little like, I don't get why you're taking her.
Because she's a good person, Corey.
But she's not.
I love her.
No, Corey's a good person, but like the other girl is like,
Blackfire's not.
I don't get it. But anyway, that's what's happening. And just like, can we bring Raven back, please?
Please, and can I get Donna Troy? I know.
I think they'll probably come back in the same episode if she's trying to resurrect her.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was Titans.
More Superboy. Titans is great.
Something that was like even more great. Talk about something exponentially better. And I liked the first episode, but this second episode was unreal. Unreally
What
good.
What if episode 2 really showed us what this show is?
And also, this was the
of?
farewell. This is like basically the last performance of Chadwick Boseman. Devastating.
It was
devastating.
It is devastating. But this was such a love letter to Chadwick, to T'Challa. Just really what this whole story, this episode was about was just the beautiful impact T'Challa and Chadwick have. And what a great man they are.
And this is the other thing I want to say was what I didn't like as much about the first episode is the first episode concentrated so much on being like, this is how Captain America, the movie, would be if she was Captain America. And it didn't show the full-on repercussions of what that choice has made, where I feel the second one, this shows you how different the universe would be. If Chadwick
totally get it now.
Boseman...
Like I was
like, because of this choice,
I was struggling with it a
because
little
of
bit.
this choice, the whole entire universe is different. And that is what I want.
You were looking for Nebula with blonde.
Yes, and
totally
a good Thanos.
Yes, these little differences, these little tweaks, and these big, broad brushstroke changes also. The good Thanos, amazing. So great to hear Josh Brolin.
Yeah, just hearing those actual voices. It's so...
do the character in that way.
It's so amazing.
So great for Karen Gillan and Josh Brolin to just be... like, to get to be funny and nice as these characters.
And also get to see... Was that Benicio del Toro playing?
And Benicio.
That was his voice too? Yeah, and him just playing a super crazy... muscled out version of the Collector. And we get some Howard the Duck.
I argue the best casting in the MCU. I know Robert Downey Jr., I know, but Seth Green is Howard the Duck.
Oh, that was Seth Green?
Perfect. Yeah, it was him in Guardians also.
Right. I just feel like it was just such a happy, great, fun story. And then even showing that like Chris Pratt's character is just like working at a fast food restaurant.
And also showing that Chris Pratt's character is a total fucking asshole. Like how much worse the universe was. Can I just ask
really quick? What was the moment that made everybody hate Chris Pratt?
You know, I'm not sure.
Suddenly it was like, oh, everyone hates him. And you know what? I think I kind of hate him too. I know he's all religious now, so that's my main thing of like gross.
Yeah, it was that I think something about his church. It came out that he belongs to a church which is anti-LGBT.
And is that the main thing? Or it just seemed like everyone's like, oh yeah, he's awful. And everyone just agreed with him. And then I think that's interesting.
And I think also the Brie Larson stuff, by Brie Larson I mean, so when people were attacking Chris Pratt, the other Marvel actors were like, can everyone please stop? Chris Pratt is a wonderful man. And a lot of people pointed out that they did not do that for Brie Larson when she was being attacked, but they came out and defended Chris Pratt, which made the whole thing just even uglier.
Anyway, what if
Chris
is
Pratt.
Great. Yeah, and that's it. And fuck Chris Pratt
great.
And fuck Justin Bieber because he belongs to that church with William Baldwin and his daughter who's his wife.
Yeah.
I want to hear Anna Faris' side of the story. I want to hear Anna Faris talk about like that marriage.
Doesn't she do?
Yeah, but I don't think she, because of her kid, I don't think she ever is saying anything disparaging about Chris Pratt. Because, she has a child and like she doesn't want to traumatize a child.
Oh God. Kids ruin everything.
But anyway, What If is turning out to be pretty amazing, and I'm super excited about it.
And I think next is the zombies.
Oh, shit.
Who do you think is going to be the good guy in the
Are there any previews of like who they're showing, who is zombies and whatnot?
You just show like a Captain America and a zombie is the one that's sticking out.
I would love it to be a more ancillary character.
Yeah, like I would love it to be like Hawkeye.
Well, not Hawkeye. Well, it was going to be Scarlett Johansson, but they had to now reanimate the whole thing and have her just be murdered immediately.
They should bring in the woman, whoever. So who record like in that movie Her? Like, wasn't it somebody else? And then they had Scarlett Johansson re-record all the.
Oh, I didn't know
whoever
that.
it was originally should be the new Black Widow in What If.
Oh my God. What if?
Sorry, we ranted a lot. We ranted and praised, and if this show is nothing else, it is an exercise in judgment.
Yeah, but that's what you're listening for. Is we're gonna bring up something and about superheroes, and we're gonna fucking judge the fuck out of it. And you know what else we're gonna do? We're gonna talk about who we think is sexy in it.
That's right.
Who would we fuck?
And if you send in a photo of yourself, we will judge what you're wearing, and we will tell you if we want to fuck you or not. And the answer will.
Me and Brett, we are whores, and it does not matter. I will fuck. I mean, I am pretty much attracted. You have to be a special type of ugly for me not to be attracted to you. I like every race. I like every size. I like every height. I mean, I do have my go-tos, but yeah, I'm a slut. And I'm proud of that.
Yeah. Me too. I'm proud of you for being a slut.
And I'm proud of you, listeners, because guess what? You're all whores. Because if you read comics, well, then that makes you queer.
Queer. You fucking sluts.